This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just going to rip this because we got to get this going and we can't be getting too late to this one. Oh, boy. All right. Last night, 10:30. Last night, all right, fine and dandy. 10:30, the Oilers acquire Mike Green, fourth round pick, conditional pick all around, and of course Kyle Brodziak going to the Detroit Red Wings too. Now, okay, thinking of much, we've been rumored a lot with the Detroit Red Wings overall, and while there was a second guy that sat out that Detroit Red Wings game against the Calgary Flames last night, and I'm here to break to you that Andreas Athanasiou is also an Edmonton Oiler, joining Mike Green on the ship from Detroit to, well, hopefully Anaheim in time for tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening's game. But Athanasiou, 24 points in 46 games. That's up on the TSN trade board right now. He's an RFA at the end of this season, so obviously now that becomes a consideration as well. That's number one, what we need to get to. But we'll go get things going. We need to find what we gave up, so right now we're just going to get into the easy part of Andreas Athanasiou's stats and stuff, and then we'll break down Andreas Athanasiou as he goes along. This season in Detroit, my goodness, you thought Mike Green's plus minus was bad. How about a minus 45 for Athanasiou? Now, normally I don't get too uppity about plus minus, but as soon as we start talking below minus 20, I get uppity. But what do the Detroit Red Wings have, like a negative 100 goal differential? So I'm sorry, it's going to be kind of tough when you only put up 24 points to be anywhere close to the positive mark on a team like Detroit. That said, 24 points still in 46 games played for Athanasiou on the NHL's worst team. Are you kidding me? This is an alright deal depending on what the Edmonton Oilers end up giving up. That said, I'm going to stall for a second here. If you're new to Dolynny TV and you're all in on the Oilers bandwagon, you're all in on the Oilers getting in here for the playoffs, what I need to do right now is hit that subscribe button, because the question is, what did we give up for Athanasiou right now? And we honestly don't quite know yet. And realistically, let's go review Athanasiou's career stats here as we await things here. Athanasiou to the Oilers. Athanasiou, where do I want him? I want him on Hockey Reference, and we'll be good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Trade Deadline Day on Dolynny TV, when I'm actually ripping as it happens. Sorry for the terrible reaction here, but we're going to get this one done. We're going to get this one dealt with. Athanasiou playing with the Detroit Red Wings since back in, ladies and gentlemen, that is 2015-16 is when he broke into the NHL with the Red Wings, and we'll break down his career stats here in just a second if you give me a second to get those loaded up for you. As here we go, stats, and you ready for this? So here you go. I'm not lying. It is tweeted out by Gord Miller. That's what you need to know right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to change that graphic for this graphic, and we're going to get things going. Andreas Athanasiou. Sorry, I'm so terrible with that. Let's get this going, and perfect. Right there, that's what I want to see. Bing, bang, boom. And the other thing, all right, ladies and gentlemen, let's break down some stats, shall we? 37 games played, 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points in his rookie season. Then 29 points in his sophomore season. 23 years old, he follows it up with 33 points on the 17-18 Red Wings. 54 points in a 30-goal campaign last year. And then, of course, this year only down to 10 goals in 46 games, a minus 45, 24 points. But what else has he been up to this year? He's had 4 power play assists. He's had 3 power play goals. So this is a guy that you can add to that power play unit, that second unit the Oilers should have been building for this whole season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, suddenly you've got, when Clefbaum's back, you've got Mike Green, and you've got Andreas Athanasiou to add to your second unit. And of course, Ken Holland, don't ignore the connection here. Ken Holland, Steve Yzerman hooking up for the only 2 deadline deals, if you're going by Eastern time, for the Oilers here. As, yeah, absolutely. Some guys eating it on Twitter right now, talking about Ken Holland missing out on Athanasiou, and all of a sudden Athanasiou getting it going right now back to the Edmonton Oilers. So that's, you know what, realistically at the end of the day, what the Oilers are looking for. You've got Mike Green, your veteran defenseman. You've got Athanasiou, who can play center, but realistically, are you going to sit in there and play him center, or keep the 3A, 3B bottom 6, or 4A, 4B bottom 6, however you look at it, we have, and throw him up there in the meantime with Connor McDavid, right? Connor McDavid playing with a guy like Sam Gagner and Alex Chiasson last night, it was, you know what, he did all right. Still, McDavid was McDavid, but it was tough to watch. You throw Athanasiou up there with Mr. Connor McDavid and Alex Chiasson in place of Sam Gagner, and look at that, suddenly that line turns into quite something, right? Those boys burn down the ice, and then Chiasson pots the rebound. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what sounds like goals to you. That sounds like goals to me, and I'm excited for this one. Athanasiou shooting only 8.7%. Well, I'm sorry, if the directive ain't after having a 30-goal season last year when McDavid passes you the puck, if you're on his line, shoot the puck, I don't know what is, and I'm sorry, when McDavid passes you the puck, you got probably a 10% higher chance than anyone else in the NHL passing you the puck of scoring a goal. So let's just stand on that, shall we, for a minute as well. 16 minutes, 32 seconds a night for Athanasiou, so that's all right as well. And then he's taken some face-offs, not really been effective throughout his career, right? You see the face-offs, low 40s all career, nothing above 45%. So I wouldn't be sitting here banking on him being the centerman on that third line. This isn't the fit. The fit is, it looks like we've got our left winger for Connor McDavid and potentially the guy that moves Zach Kassian back down into the bottom six. Fine, dandy, all good there, right? You know what? He's an RFA moving forward. We'll figure it out. We'll find out, and we've got it going. So the contract, of course, we'll go do some math here as the guy coming out of the Toronto system, the London Knights, is where Andreas Athanasiou. Sorry, it's the fact that it's Athanasiou has me wanting to say Anthony. He's making $3 million this year, so nothing of concern after putting Chris Russell on the LTIR. I wish I had a return for Athanasiou. What? 2 second rounders? 2 second rounders, ladies and gentlemen. 2 second round picks for Andreas Athanasiou for the Edmonton Oilers. Right there, Darren Drager's got it. So, of course, who had it first, though? My buddy Troy yelling at me from down in the bottom half, watching the TV in the basement. So let me get this tweet for you, and then let's get this done up and ripped up to YouTube for your viewing pleasure. As here we go, trade. So 2 second round picks. So the Oilers, after saying they weren't going to part with any trade chips as in terms of picks, here we go. We've all of a sudden talked about trading 2 second rounders and, of course, yes sirree, our fourth or third next year. So that is interesting. 2 second rounders for double A for the Oilers. That is all right. You know what? That is fantastic. And that is a big-time deadline deal for Ken Holland. You know what? In terms of Oilers trade deadline moves, that is probably one of the biggest ones we've seen in a long while. That's nice to see, and it's huge to see. The fact that, ladies and gentlemen, this Oilers team, I mean, it was only rumored for how many ever days, and I didn't get around to really talking about it, and I was sitting here denialistville saying, no way, no shape, form are we making a trade deadline deal. That would be dumb. Best deadline deal is McDavid. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, to all of you in the Dolynny TV crowd that were so kind to make sure you kept hammering on Athanasiou, and to my buddy Thrash for talking to me about Athanasiou, and of course everybody else on the Detroit Red Wings over the years, the Oilers Red Wings hook up 2020 for 2 deadline deals in one day. And ladies and gentlemen, is that just not fantastic? So what does that set up? That sets up the Oilers to probably be able to send down, if the math works, to get Athanasiou and Mike Green to good old Anaheim in time for tomorrow. That probably sets up your send down of Tyler Benson to the AHL. So Mr. Athanasiou coming to the Edmonton Oilers, and if that ain't just something interesting, another note there, Mike Green will wear number 27 for the Edmonton Oilers, so that's a fun one for you. But ladies and gentlemen, that, you know what, honestly, end of the day, to sit here and kind of say this should have been expected, yes, but end of the day to say that I'm still shocked is totally true. Because at the end of the day, to expect the Oilers to go out there and make one trade and then 2, and both with Detroit, it's exactly what we should have expected all along, yet that's why I didn't really expect it, right? Is because usually you have things rumored so much that they're hyped up that they can't be true, and then the other time, the other half, the other 50% is when this Athanasiou trade comes through, and it's rumored so long, and it ends up happening. And that's the end of the day what this day is all about. It's either rumored or it's not, and I think the funniest part of this whole Athanasiou trade, from my perspective, is the fact that earlier this morning, Mike Commodore said, Athanasiou, pack your crap, you're going to Columbus. And then, like an hour later, he backtracked and said, no, you're going to Edmonton. And here Athanasiou is, confirmed, going to the Edmonton Oilers. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's trade deadline edition of Andreas Athanasiou here on Dolynny TV. I will have more coverage for you coming up post-trade deadline. Guys, I am up on out of here.